Okay, Pam and Charlie Haynes, the founders of Jacob's Well Recovery Center. I feel honored to be in your presence right now. So, from what I hear around the street, this is not the first recovery center that you have founded, correct?
Right.
So, tell me a little bit about your story, how you got here.
Well, the way we got here was through the despair in our own family, in our own marriage. I spent most of my adult life in alcoholism, addicted to amphetamines, porn addict. I was just messed up,
Right.
And it just came to the point where Pam and the kids just couldn't stand the behavior anymore. And so 18 years ago, they sat me down on a Sunday morning and had what you'd call now a intervention.
Right.
But they sat me down and confronted me with the behaviors of my life inside and outside my family, and that they were sick of it and didn't want to live in that anymore. And basically, Pam asked me for a divorce after 27 years of marriage. My kids stood up and said, "We don't want to see you anymore. You're not going to ever hold your grandchildren. Goodbye." And so that day, I packed up what little bit of stuff I had in obedience to what they'd asked, and got in an old truck, took off. And I really thought that day that it was the end of everything. What I realized today was it was the beginning of everything, because God was able to remove me from my arrogance and my pride and my options about how to live life, and to begin to mold me and make me into the man He created me to be, instead of the one I allowed myself to become. And that's really how it got started. And God made me a promise in those early days as I began to walk out my relationship with Him. He made me a promise that He was going to restore my marriage with Pam. Not as good as it used to be, but better than it ever was. That He would restore my relationship with my children, better than it had ever been, better than I dreamed it ever could be. But what He wanted me to do after He did that was He wanted our family to become a walking, living testimony to what God can do in the worst possible situation in the family. And He began to heal. Then He began to instruct us that we needed to reach out and start touching other people, other families who were broken and hurting as we were, and start to give them a living hope that, hey, you know what? It doesn't have to be this way. Christ can redeem. Christ can restore. Christ can put back together those things that we've torn apart. And so that's really how it got started.